In this video, I'm going to show you how you can enable lesson buttons only once the previous lesson is completed. I'm Paul Wilson, and I make videos about e-learning, specifically Adobe Captivate. And if you like what I'm doing here today, by all means subscribe to my channel, hit the like button to let me know that you appreciate this video, and by all means share this video with all of your e-learning colleagues. A little while ago, I saw a post, and I don't recall whether it was on the community forums for Adobe or if it was on the Adobe e-learning community site itself, or even one of the comments within one of my YouTube videos. I honestly can't find it, and I don't recall. But the gist of it was this, is that this particular user wanted to disable the buttons associated with Lesson 2, Lesson 3, Lesson 4 until the learner or student completed Lesson 1. And then, of course, Lesson 2 would be available. They could complete that, and then it would make Lesson 3 available, and so on. So let me show you my solution to this problem right now. Okay, so I've created a simulation of what a multiple lesson main menu slide might look like. And, where each lesson is going to be a step in baking a lasagna here. So I'm going to use the image grid, and these particular images will navigate us to the individual slides. So let's take care of the navigation portion first. Click on Add an Interaction, click Tap, and we will go to, in this case, slide number 2. Click Done. Similar for the second of those. Click Tap, go to Slide number 3, click Done, and same thing for this one here. Click Tap, go to Slide, and slide number 4, click Done. Continue will be a button that takes you maybe beyond these slides to a new section that I haven't yet created, but it'll be there nonetheless. Now, the first thing we're going to need to do is make sure that we have a disabled state, because that's a key ingredient of this particular interaction. So I'm going to select the second one. I don't really need it for the first one, because that's going to always be enabled right from the start. But the second one, which you won't be able to visit until you've done the first step, we want to make sure that it looks disabled when you arrive on this slide. So we're going to click on this, go to our Visual Properties Inspector, and we will show our states for this. So it automatically created a hover visited selected state. We don't really need a selected state, so I'm going to disable that, but I am going to enable my disabled state, and it is actually enabled. So I want it to look disabled. So I think the easiest way to do that is use the image filter to make it look grayscale. And we'll do the same thing for this one here. Make sure that that's looks disabled. And we're also going to disable or make our continue button look disabled as well. So let's make sure that the disabled state is enabled. Also don't need the selected state. So it'll look grayed out when it's not available to you there. Okay. On each of these step-by-step lessons here, the home button will take you back to slide number 1. So we'll just program that here. We'll go to slide number 1 and Done. And do the same thing for this one here. Done. We're going to add to this particular interaction or these particular buttons, but we'll take care of this first step here. And to that point, we're going to need to keep track of which of these items have been pressed and which ones have not. And the easiest way that I know how to do that is with tracking variables. So we're going to click on our window drop-down menu and select variables to open up the variables window. There were some variables here, but I've deleted those. But let's go ahead and create some right now. And we will call this underscore lesson 01 visited. Okay, I'm just going to copy that structure. And this is going to be a true false variable. where the initial value is false. So I'm going to go ahead and create that, and I'm going to create two more, one for lesson 2. Again, also true false with the initial value of false. And one more we'll create there for lesson 3. Also true false variable, and false is the default value. So we'll go ahead and create that there. Click outside the variables window to close that window. And we'll go back to these slides here, and let's click on that home button again, and we'll add an action that will assign lesson 1 visited a value of true. So we've completed this lesson, and therefore the variable will be updated to have a value of true. We'll do the same thing. Now I'm just going to move this up to a logical order here so that that's first, and then we go to slide number 1. Do the same thing for this one here. We will assign variable lesson 2 a value of true, and done. And again, we'll just move that up so it happens before the navigation. Click home. I don't know if it'll matter or not, but I like to do things in logical order. Assign variable and true. That's for lesson 3. And again, we'll move that up to the top here. So every time we arrive on this first slide, we want to look at those tracking variables and set the objects according to that condition, that circumstance, right? So making sure that nothing is selected, I'm just going to click on slide 1 in the slide sorter here. And this is going to be a slide level interaction. So we'll click on slide interactions plus, and it's going to run on slide enter. So we'll click on that. Now we're going to look at the condition of our variables first, and we'll click on plus, and we will say if our variable lesson 01 visited is equal to a value of, let's start with false, save, we're going to go to more, and we are going to disable, so this is when literally the first time you've arrived here, we are going to disable assemble the lasagna, bake and serve, and the continue button, right? Press next and done. Okay, so that's sort of the first situation. Now we can add another action to slide enter here, and this will also be a condition. So we'll click on plus, and if the variable of lesson 1 visited is equal to a value of this case true, press save. We're going to click on more, and we are going to enable assemble the lasagna. Okay, next and done. Let's do the next situation here. So when the condition of our variable is that lesson 2 is equal to a value of true, we are going to enable our third button, next, and done. And one more to do, and that's when all of them have been completed. So let's go to condition, and we'll choose the variable, and lesson 3 visited is equal to a value of true. Press save. We're going to now enable our continue button. So press next and done. So let's preview this, see how it works. Okay, I'm just going to move the play bar out of the way. This is something you'd probably turn off for this type of interaction. Let's click on play here. So you can see when we first arrive on baking a lasagna, the only thing, we can't click here, we can't click here, we can't click there. We can see them, right? So unlike hiding them, we are disabling them. But let's go ahead and prepare our ingredients. So we follow directions on this slide here, and then we can click on home, and we come back here. And now, of course, that enables the second of our 3 buttons. Still can't click Bacon Serve or Continue. So let's do this one here. Click Home once you've learned that. Now we can learn about the third stage, which is available. And notice the Continue button is still disabled. And when we're finally finished all the lessons, we come back and of course we can now continue with the rest of our e-learning project.
If you thought this video was helpful, please like and share it with your colleagues. If you need help with Adobe Captivate, hire Paul for one-on-one instruction. Paul's goal is to focus on lessons based on your specific needs. Visit his website at captivateteacher.com. And don't forget to subscribe to his YouTube channel.